Hi, it's Hannah, and I'm so glad you're here. Today, I'm making a lightweight denim vest along with a purse, and I'm making them from a denim jacket and a curtain panel that I purchased from the thrift store. I am also making a hat to match that I purchased from the thrift store and using flowers that I purchased from the Dollar Tree. And I'm doing it all without sewing a stitch. I chose a transparent panel because it is a summer garment, and I used a curtain panel because all four sides are already hemmed. I used Aleene's Fabric Fusion because of its longevity. It dries quickly, it's soft to the touch and pliable. Cut both sleeves off as close as possible to the seam. If you have any frayed edges, just take your scissors and go all around, cutting as close as possible to the seam once again until you no longer have any frayed edges. Next, we're going to cut out the back panel as shown. Once again, cut as close to the seams as possible, removing any frayed edges, and this is what the back panel should look like. Next, I'm cutting the curtain panel, and I'm giving myself plenty of seam allowances, and this is going to be glued, but I'm going to avoid gluing any of the hemmed edges to the back panel of the jacket because we need these later on. Lay the panel down and lay the jacket right side up on top of the panel. Put the fabric fusion along the seam of the vest and gently press the panel into the space where the denim panel fit before. Just go slowly and press gently and stretch out as much as you want to. You don't want to overstretch it. You want it to be the same width and size as the denim panel, and you can actually use the denim panel that you cut out as a template if you feel more comfortable doing that. But you glue all four sides on the outside of the jacket, and once those four sides are firmly glued and you've waited a few minutes just to let that set a little bit, you turn the vest over. You see me pressing down on the sides. It does not take long for the fabric fusion to set. So I turn the jacket over and I cut about 1/4 of an inch seam very neatly all along the edge, and I just now put the fabric fusion underneath the edge of the curtain panel because I want it to look nice and pretty on the inside and finished, and I also want it to be strong and last for a long time, and I don't want the fabric to fray. So this is so easy. It's just a matter of cutting the sleeves off, cutting a hole in the back panel, laying the curtain panel down, cutting that, and gluing it into the back panel. It is as simple as that, and you have the cutest vest ever. And I love blue and yellow together, so I was so happy when I found this translucent yellow that went with the denim blue. I am so pleased with the way that this jacket turned out. It's just adorable, and it's nice and breezy with the translucent fabric. It is completely wearable in the summer. I used the sleeves of the jacket and decided to make a purse. I cut one sleeve on along the seam on the side where there was no button, and I cut the second sleeve on the side where there is a button. I opened up the sleeves and I laid them next to each other with the unfinished sides facing each other, and then I cut off the excess on each side and cut the bottom of the purse straight across. I trimmed any frayed edges, and then next I cut the largest hem off of the curtain panel and made 2 panels for the skirt. There is a finished and unfinished side on each curtain panel hem, and I glued the unfinished side to the inside of the denim and the nice side to the outside of the denim. As you can see here, I am adding glue to the denim, and I am going to add the unfinished side to the denim right here. And I add a bead of glue to the top of the denim. And I am adding the nice side of the hem to the top of the denim. And you'll see when I turn it around that the inside unfinished edge is underneath the seam and the nice side is on top of the seam. And after that, I make 2 pleats in the purse to make it narrower, and I start in the back and I make even side pleats on each side, and I glue them down, and then I turn the purse inside out and I finish gluing the hem on the outside just by adding a bead of glue underneath the denim to hold it all down. And once I'm sure that that's set, and that just takes a few minutes because of the fabric fusion, I begin to make the hem. And I start to tuck the hem under, and I glue that all the way across. And once I have glued that, I take the button that came from the piece of, it's a scrap now, the piece that I cut from the sleeve without the button, and I cut the button off of that scrap, and there is a hole on the front side where the button should go, and I glue that button. I insert the button, and I glue it together, and I add clips, to the bottom of the hem, because this is all the weight is going to lay at the bottom of the purse, and we need for it to be strong. Then I cut 4 feet plus 2 feet of the side of the hem, and that hem is finished on both sides, so it looks great on both sides. And I glued the 4 feet piece on either side of the purse, and this makes it perfect to hang off of your shoulder, and it also makes a great crossbody purse. You can see now on the front of the purse that the 2 buttons are equidistant. This is such an adorable purse, and the last thing that we're going to do on the purse is add an embellishment. Using the 2 feet that I cut from the side panel of the curtain, I fold over the top and glue that onto the front of the denim directly next to the translucent curtain panel. And I begin folding it over and making pleats all the way down the front of the purse with the 2-foot piece. And I glue the pleats together all the way down the front, and once they're glued all together all the way down the front, then I glue that entire piece down. And this little panel, even though it's understated, it makes such a nice statement piece on the front of the purse. And with that, this purse is complete. Because we used a curtain panel and used all the hems from the curtain panel, the inside of the purse is so pretty that we don't need a lining. And as an added benefit, you open the purse with the button on the right side of the purse on the sleeve that we cut from the button, so you don't need to add any other buttons or zippers. And the pleat looks adorable in the back, and we've got the translucent panels in the front and the back, and it matches our denim jacket completely, and it turned out so cute. I am really happy with the way that this purse turned out. It couldn't be cuter. And next we're going to work on the hat. And it's just a straw hat that I purchased, and I glued on these denim colored flowers from the Dollar Tree and cut yet another piece of the hem out, and I tied that underneath the blue flowers, and I made it long enough so that I could have a bow on the back of the hat. I put together a little embellishment using little bits of burlap and a burlap flower, some lace, and some crochet type ribbon and jute ribbon that has some greenery on it, and I hot glued that underneath the blue flowers and on top of the yellow bow. And then I added yellow tulips that I purchased from Michael's, and these tulips were a great price. They were $1.99 a bunch, and I have a lot of these tulips. This hat turned out to be absolutely gorgeous. Really, it is so pretty that if you don't want to use it as a hat, you could easily hang it on your front door and it would be a showstopper. It is just beautiful. And after I finished adding the tulips, I even added some scraps that were left over with the denim and the curtain panel where they were glued together, and those added yet another texture, color, and just more country charm. And with that, this hat is complete. I so enjoyed making these projects for you, and I hope that it inspires you to make something beautiful. If you enjoyed the projects, please share them with your friends, like, subscribe, and hit the notification button, and that way you'll be notified the next time I make a project. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.